To do the Chapter 6 lab, what you first want to do is you want to generate the data. So what we want is we want 100 columns of 30 rows each of values that come from a standard normal normal distribution with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15. So to do that, I want to select data and then select simulate, and I'm selecting from a normal distribution. I want 100 columns and I want 30 rows. So what this means is I'm going to construct 100 confidence intervals for a sample size of 30 for each interval. And I am sampling from a population with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15. And I can just leave everything else. Alright, so I press compute, and you'll see that I have 100 columns of values, and each column contains IQ scores, basically, because we're sampling from a population with a mean of 100, standard deviation of 15. And what I want StatCrunch to do for me is I want to construct a confidence interval for each one of these columns. I definitely don't want to do that by hand because I want 100 of these. So to do that, I want to click on Stat, and I want to scroll down to Z-Stats because I'm using the Z distribution in this situation. And I want one sample, and I'm using with data. Now I need to tell it what columns I want to generate these confidence intervals from. So I'm going to actually select all of them. Okay, columns 1 through 100. And I want to click on confidence interval. And in this lab I ask you to use a 95% level of confidence. And to help count how many actually captured mu, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Store in the Data Table. So after clicking on Compute, and I'm going to click out of this screen here, you'll see that we have some new rows generated. So for example, for that very first column, way at the beginning of the data sheet, for that first column of values, the confidence interval had a lower limit of 95.72 up to an upper limit of 104.83. So this confidence interval, yes, it did capture the true population mean of 100. The next confidence interval limits from that second column we generated also captured the true mean of 100. So rather than having to scroll down to through all of these columns and physically count how many captured the true mean of 100, I'm going to have StatCrunch figure that out for me. Alright, so to do that I want to click on Applets, scroll to confidence intervals, and I want to scroll down to Plotter. I need to tell it what column contains my lower limits for those confidence intervals, and it's already titled over here as lower limit. And then I need to select the column that contains the upper limits of those confidence intervals. So I'm going to scroll down to lower limit for my lower limit and scroll down to upper limit for the upper limits, and I need to tell it what the true parameter is. Now in reality we don't know this. The purpose of this lab is just to demonstrate what that 95% or the 90% or the 98% level of confidence really means. Okay, so I'm going to change that true parameter to be 100 and then compute. So you'll get this plot of all 100 confidence intervals. Okay, so the green ones are the confidence intervals that actually contain the true parameter of 100, and the red ones are the ones that did not. Okay, so for example, if I hover my mouse over this first red one, I got a lower limit of 100.28 and an upper limit of 110.56. So that confidence interval does not contain the true parameter of 100. So StatCrunch tallies it for me. Overall, out of these 100, I have 94 that contained mu of 100 and 6 did not. So the estimated confidence level is 94%, where in reality we were shooting for a 95% confidence level. Now this isn't too bad. To get this to be even closer to our target level of 95%, we could have simulated, for example, 1,000 confidence intervals. Okay, and you're welcome to play with that, but this is all I ask for in your lab. Did you get close to the target confidence level of 95% or not? Now, if you've done this correctly, you should have gotten close, if not exactly equal to 95%. So from here, I want you to go ahead and copy this into your document. So I'm going to click on Options and Copy. And then you want to read the tip at the bottom. Okay, so I need to right-click the image and open up my lab document. Whoops, which I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, and I want to paste it, and I'm going to paste special. Okay, just like you did for the histogram way back in chapter 2, or box plot, and select device independent bitmap and then OK. Okay, so that gets it into the document. I need to see that so I know that you did this experiment correctly. And then after that, I need you to answer the question, did you observe what was expected? In other words, did your estimated confidence level come close to the target level of 95%? Okay, so just a few sentences. That's all I need. All right, so this should help you get started with the Chapter 6 lab.